You know, guys, regardless of the tank I'm reviewing pretty much all the time, I'm giving you the playstyle you have to get with the tank. And usually you have three different kinds. You have the hold down, which just means that you have to only show your turret to your opponents in order to bounce and be able to sneak some shots. The peekaboo, which is basically shooting at your targets and going back to a safe cover before they even realize you're here, or using your mobility by circling, going on the side where there is nobody in order to circle them, etc., which is something that is more focused on light tanks. And sometimes I have some people that are watching my videos and that after are coming into my DMs telling me, hey Pantoufleee, just want to tell you, I tried the tactic you recommended in this video about this tank, so I tried it with this tank, and unfortunately it didn't work for me. So this video is kind of be an answer to those people, because as I have a lot of experience in the game, when I tell you what kind of playstyle you should use for a tank, I'm not trying to dig you through a hole and to not allow you to do what you need to do with the tank in order to be good. But let's all together take a look at what happens when someone plays a tank perfectly as it is intended. For this replay, we have the pleasure of watching Just Poporico playing his IS-7. And as you can see, he's in a famous clan, because Mav is supposed to be a good clan, and therefore I'm expecting this guy to be a good player as well. And he's playing in his IS-7. Nothing new, I think, for you guys. You already know that what you need to do with the IS-7 is obviously being held down as much as possible. And since the 8.3 update and its perf, let's say that it's even better than before, thanks to its AG model. So we're gonna see what happens when every single stars are aligned for you to be able to effectively use the most effective playstyle with your tank. So there we go, we are seeing the IS-7 taking an advanced position, and I truly love the position he's taking, and this is the one I would recommend if you want to go to the hill with a heavy tank that has a good turret armor, because from there, as you can see, he has the perfect position. Just take a look at this, guys. His enemies are only seeing this. They are seeing the turret. The turret of the IS-7, if you're not using calibrated shell, is really hard to penetrate. And on top of that, right after sneaking his shot, our friend can just pull back to a safe cover, and thereafter come back again to sneak a shot and pull back into a safe cover. And this is what the most effective tactic on an IS-7 looks like, because by doing this, you will literally be able to tear apart your opponents. On top of that, the fact that the enemies did not try to push at the beginning allowed our friend to sneak multiple shots on them, because if you actually want to avoid facing an IS-7 frontally, or at least only seeing its turret, you will have at one point the need to push, especially on this map. Because if you take a look at what is happening, if the enemies stayed here, they only see the turret of the tank. But if, for example, the E75 decides to go there and the IS-7 is still here, he will be able to shoot at the tracks and therefore penetrate. And this is something I see too often on this map. People being scared of pushing because they're like, oh no, but if I push, I'm gonna take one more shot before going into the right position. Yes, maybe. But if you don't take that position, you are probably gonna get destroyed by the guy that is in all down, and you're gonna let him have an ace tanker. So yeah, try something. And see, it seems like the E75 was just waiting for the IS-7 to try something in order to attack. And as I just told you, it works. It works because the E75 can finally penetrate the IS-7, shooting at its weak spot, which is the lower part of the hull. But now things are getting a little bit nasty, because as you can see, we have an IS-7 that is getting pushed by a mouse and an E100. And once again, he's using one of the perfect playstyles you can get with the IS-7, aka the side scrape. And especially since the 8.3 buff, once again, because Wargaming reworked its spaced armor. Just take a look at what they're seeing right now. This is pretty much what the mouse sees. From there, it's impossible for the mouse to penetrate, because he could try the upper part of the hull, but as our friend is angled with the hill in front of him, it helps him quite a lot. And so there we go, we are seeing that our friend has everything for him. He only has to deal with them as soon as they are trying to push, and it's working, it's working. And I'm curious about Easy using calibrated shell, but I think he is, because 11.5 seconds is the reload you have with the calibrated shell. And pro tip, guys, you should definitely try to use calibrated shell on your IS-7 due to the lack of penetration with your regular shells, and especially your gold shell, because otherwise you will not be able to penetrate an E100 turret frontally, and these kind of things which can be life-saving from time to time, and especially in this situation. So there we go, our friend is focusing the mouse using an APCR, he kills the boy, and now he has to deal with the E100. And I like what he's doing right now. He knows that he has to move, he knows that he has to try something, and he decided to push through the E100 in order to kill the guy that they have in the back. Because even if the frontal enemies are both one-shot, the main problem it has right now is the E100. Because the E100 is a big threat. It has an impressive armor using heat shell, impressive penetration, using heat shell. And on top of that, he was about to kill the 50 TP prototype. But by helping his teammate, he allowed himself to save a teammate, do his damage on the E100, and kind of secure the whole game by this point. Because now he has 1.9k hit points, and obviously there is nothing right there that can stop him. So there we go, we have the Grill 15 trying something on the Yak Tiger, which was a little bit weird to be fair, but hey, this is the Grill choice, we're not gonna blame him. And now he only has to wait for the Yak Tiger being too busy on the Grill 15 to actually understand that he has to deal with a big boy, aka the IS-7. He tracked him down, and now once again we are going for the mighty side scrape. Just take a look at the Yak Tiger point of view. Once again, it's impossible for our friend to penetrate, except maybe if he uses gold shell on the upper part, but if I'm not mistaken, this replay, it's not gonna happen because the guy is really struggling, and boom, that's it. No more Yak Tiger. 7.1k damage so far, and there is still an E75 to deal with. He goes in, he's trying to penetrate the guy, he only has a PCR left, which implies that he had to do a low roll, and now the 50p prototype comes in, kills the guy, and our friend kind of rages because he wanted to get the 4 kills, which is understandable, let's say, because when you're doing such an amazing game, you expect your teammates to be comprehensive about you getting the last kill. But still, regardless, it was an amazing game, and as you can see, it was easy. It was not hard. It was not hard for our friend for 2 reasons. First, he played his tank perfectly, using the right playstyle between side scrape and all down. But on top of that, he also helped his teammates and was map aware, and there is also a huge part of luck depending on how the enemies are pushing, depending on what the enemies are doing, etc, etc. But let's say that our friend, by using the all down method, allowed himself to pressure the opponents into not pushing, which resulted in him being able to deal damage at the beginning of the game, which later saved him against the E100 and the mouse, as the enemies on the other side of the map couldn't push because of their hit points. So this is pretty much what happens when you follow the rules about tanks. When you follow the right playstyles, you will get easy ace tankers, and I really want you to understand that, guys, and to pay attention to the different playstyles us YouTubers and even Wargaming themselves, when they're releasing videos, are explaining to you. It's extremely important, because you can from time to time, let's say, use tanks with different tactics, but to be fair, it's not gonna work all the time, whereas being in all down with the IS-7 will obviously reward you at all cost. Hopefully you enjoyed. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like, and share, and I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Bye.